Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a bonus full moon eclipse reading for the month of March, and Aries, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Aries, we still all have a little bit of Aries in us. If you have your birth chart, which house is Aries in? That's where this energy shows up for you. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. And keep in mind, this is a general or collective reading, meaning that parts may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you, leave the rest. And also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on back then for you? It could give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, here we go. We're going to now go find the underlying energy for this reading. And so the underlying energy is the Chariot. So the Chariot is talking about being on your destined path. The Chariot says, hey, that you're on your spiritual path, and it's already, whatever it is you're working on is happening in the spiritual realm. And it's now going to manifest on earth. You'll notice there's no reins here, no need for them, because you're on your divinely guided course. And this energy is just moving forward. This is like a tank, toom, 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 going through. And it is going to take you where you need to go. We have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles represents an energy of understanding the give and take in life. It can quite often represent that in some level you have been breadcrumbed or are being breadcrumbed by others for your own needs and your lifestyle, basically. The Pentacles represent health, wealth, and happiness, like abundance in 3D. But, you know, money is a big part of that, and that's why the coins are prominent here. But having said that, you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want to live. This person here is giving coins to this person who's begging, because he feels that this person is being authentic and actually could use the money, and so he is willing to give it to him. Whereas this person already has something in his pocket. He's got the scales of justice hanging over this person, saying, "Get your butt back to work." Like, you're not fooling me. I'm not going to give you money. Go work. You're able to. This person isn't, for some reason. And so we have a Knight of Cups coming in. So the Knight of Cups is the shining armor that we read about in romance novels. You know, the knights would travel far and wide, delivering messages for the king and the queen and protecting the kingdom. And the knight in shining armor is, you know, that guy that is dressed to the nines and charming, and his cup of love is a true cup of love. It's usually a more serious offer, such as a proposal for marriage. And I'm just going to say, well, probably it's not going to come in on a horse, but hopefully it will be in person if it's a marriage proposal. It won't be a text message or an email. But generally, it doesn't necessarily have to be a proposal of marriage. It could be a proposal going into a business that you love to be in, or, you know, some sort of being hired for a position or something like that. So the information, you know, these days we have so many ways of communicating. It could be a phone call, a text message, an email. It could be something you see on social media. You go in to an event that you've seen on social media, and you end up meeting this person, and it turns out to be your Prince Charming. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So we have two knights here, and they're both in very different energy. Not too different. I mean, one's moving and one's not, basically. That's because the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in all the four knights in the tarot. He is painfully slow sometimes, and by the time he gets there, you forgot what the question was, kind of energy. But this is because he's very methodical, and this represents the energy. He is holding up that pentacle, and generally when he comes in, it is a solid offer, and quite often it could be about generational wealth or a legacy of money. It's a lot of money, not just a little bit. This is talking maybe about some opportunities coming in that will be available for you. And you know, we have two horses coming in here. I feel like this energy is representing the energy of the first eclipse that we've had. The first eclipse was in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is across the wheel from Leo energy, so they were opposing each other. Aquarius was saying, hey, you need to look after the needs of the whole first, and Leo was saying, no, I'm an individual, and to be a good leader, I need to look after my own needs first so that I can lead. Then we, on that same day, we had the year of the fiery horse energy come in from the Chinese New Year, and we also had an eclipse, and the eclipse was a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse, which means that for a short period of time the sun was not in the sky there, and that energy is the first eclipse of the season and for 2026. And now we are moving into, like on March 3rd, there's going to be a second eclipse, and this one's going to be a full moon eclipse in the sign of Virgo. The moon will be in Virgo, and the opposing energy is Pisces. So this is the year of the fiery horse energy is very different from the energy we're leaving. We have been in the year of the snake, and so we're done shedding our skin, and we're ready to be horses now. If we're not ready, you got to get ready. This is talking about new adventures, being able to move way further, right? Like, how far can a snake get? Pretty far, but not as far as a horse, for sure. And the energy also is very highly, like it's inspiring energy. So horses are like, they inspire a sense of freedom when you ride them. And that energy is you know, causing venture for the new and high achievement goals. In matters of love, very passionate and heartfelt. The danger with the fire horse energy is it can be very impulsive. And if you've ever seen a horse spooked and you see it run, that energy can be really, really challenging. You know, all you can do is hold on for dear life. And, you know, you don't want to fall off because you'll really hurt yourself, and you don't want to get trampled accidentally. Like, there's a lot of shift that could happen. And a horse that's in that energy can go really far in the wrong direction. So that's why now is not a really good time for impulsive energy. It's just not being supported by the astrological influences. And we're seeing a lot of that being played out in the energy of the Epstein files being released, where there's a lot of information out there, and so we have to be discerning to understand it so that we get the truth, get to the truth, because some of it is true and some of it is modified, let's say it that way. And so this is talking about the Eight of Pentacles represents an energy where you've been really focused on making money. And so out of all the Pentacle cards, this is the only one where the person is actually working on the coin. So it's talking about actually making money. And so that's what the focus of this is, not so much lifestyle, but focusing on making money. And this can say that you started a project and you have 6 done here. So now you have a little extra to give away. And you're working on the 7th pentacle and you only have 1 to go and the project will be complete. Or this can be talking about this new energy coming in and you're starting a new project and you're working on the 2nd pentacle and you've got 6 more to go to get to 8. So it depends on your situation. And we have the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is sitting on her throne and she is known to be considered the most sexy of all the queens. She's a natural beauty. She's holding a sunflower in her hand because that represents her sunny disposition. The sunflowers follow the sun, and that's what she also does. The sun represents God and God's plan. And so this is talking about the veil, is about how thin the veil between the spiritual and the physical world really is. And also her ability to be able to use her logic and her intuition combined to come up with creative solutions to problems. This wand is the element of fire. It represents, it's made of wood. Wood fuels fire. And it comes from a tree, obviously, if it's out of wood, and the tree represents the deep roots of the ancestors, and the offshoots are descendants. There's a little black cat here with her as a companion. Now, this little black cat, she really doesn't have any. A lot of people wouldn't have a black cat because they feel that black cats are bad luck. She doesn't believe in bad luck. She believes in creative solutions. So she likes her cat, and she's going to keep her cat. She doesn't care what other people think. She sets the tone. And so out of all the face cards all for the wands have tunics, or somewhere in the image, there are salamanders chasing their tails in this circle, and or a lion, and that represents protection from fire. The Queen of Wands is the only one of the royal cards that doesn't have that in her card, and that is because she sets the tone, and she is commanding the fire, so she doesn't need protection from it. We have the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is coming in, and she has learned the art of discernment. She has been there, done that, and she has the t-shirt, and she has no desire to put up with any bullshit. She doesn't have any patience left for it. She's got her head out of the clouds. She has clarity of what she wants in her life and what she doesn't. She does have her left hand out and raised out, and that's saying, I'm willing to receive, but whatever I receive had better be worth my time. So now this is the energy coming in from the Chariot, and this person, this energy of someone who understands the give and take of life, but maybe not as much as she does as of yet. This could even be representing these two individuals could be the same person. And this is how the Queen used to be. She's become a lot colder now because she was maybe in a position where she gave too much away and gave her work away and ended up being stuck, basically. And so she's not going to make that mistake again. She's learning from her mistakes and moving forward. And then we have the Lover energies coming in. So the Lovers is talking about this cup here is talking about this energy, this new lover coming in, and this is divinely guided by God, by the Sun. And these two, what it's saying is you may have not ever met this person, or you may have met them, but you didn't get to know them, if you know what I mean. Like, you just met, you know of them, but you were never involved in a relationship with them. And this is saying that this is the person that is being sent in, and this is what's interesting here is we have every single one of the elements shown here, but none of them, like the knights don't belong to either of the queens, and this energy is kind of like, okay, who's the lover here? That's what we want to know. We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. All right, we have Joy and the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is sitting next to God on the throne, and this is again saying use your intuition. This definitely is talking about the eclipse season here. The black and the white, the dark and the light, the night and day kind of energy. And this is also saying that the crescent moon here, that the High Priestess is highly intuitive, and she follows the cycles of the moon. Understanding that, how to use the energy of the moon to move forward. This also can represent the energy between devil and Jesus. And so this energy is talking about being comfortable in between two extremes and keeping that balance with ease. And then we have Eight of Wands coming in. Eight of Wands is a card of conception. So it can represent, I feel like, this energy here of starting this new project. If this is, or like these could have been launched from this direction. So if they're launched from this direction, it would be from this energy. And if they're launched from this direction, it would be this energy. So this would imply that if it's being launched from this energy, that they were just launched, and if it's launched from this energy, they're about to land kind of energy. So, and this is about your marriage, your commitment, and your partnerships. We have the pre-Empress energy. So this is talking now about the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so you notice here we have this person learning to discernment about how much to give, how much to take, what kind of, who to invest in, who not to. Give your time, your money, and your energy to. Now this is the pre-Empress energy, so that would imply that probably these queens are this person now, after learning this lesson and learning it really well, because she's taken it to a whole new level here. This is talking about she would never give away energy at this point, her time, her money, her energy at this point. She knows this is what she needs to have a reserve for herself to be able to move forward and put her plans into action and run her household and have that cushion so that she's feeling comfortable. And then when she has like the 3 extra that are behind her, this would be for, like, say, more risky investments, and this one would be for charity, and maybe this one for helping out family members or that kind of energy. And so, or just having a slush fund for a rainy day. This kind of energy is a ratio. And if you've ever heard of Nikola Tesla, the genius, he would say that if you knew the power of the 369, then you would have the key to the universe. And that's what this falcon represents. It represents that she can see the big picture here. So she understands that there could be unforeseen situations where suddenly she might need a little bit of money and she's already given it away. Once she gets into this position, then she is very generous with what she has, but she has learned from the past that she has regretted not holding on a little bit more for herself in situations, because when she needed it, because if she doesn't stay in a position where she can support her household, her family, her energy, for her personal energy, then she is going to not be able to help anyone. She won't be in a position to do so. This is talking about transition. So some sort of transition coming in. I feel that's when this new lover comes in, this newer energy. The wounded warrior. So this is the energy we're talking about. So these 8 wands, it looks like you managed to land them, but did it ever take a lot of effort to stay on that path. This here, this bottom part here is talking about the internal forces. So your internal forces are what you have control over. So when someone from your family says, I need some money, and they think you have way more than them, but they don't know that you have another project brewing and you're going to need that money for that project. It's that kind of energy. You have learned the discernment, or you're learning how to say no so that you don't get caught in the lurch, and end up being in this energy, just totally exhausted to push these through, because now you have to find an investor or something, whereas if you wouldn't have lent that money out, that kind of energy. And people can quite often, internal forces are what you have control over. So this is talking about having the control over you don't have control over the external forces, but you have control over your reaction or your response to this. And so this is in the position of higher learning. I think I just want to go through this here. So your self-image right now is you identify with this energy, either being worthy of being proposed to, or you want to propose to someone, depending on who you are. And then this is abundance and self-worth. So you're willing to stay patient to build a legacy. Like, you understand that it takes time, and that to have a real solid foundation. This is talking about your communication in early life. So there was a focus on, you know, applying yourself and focusing on making money when you can. What's the saying? Make hay while the sun shines, basically. And then we have home and family, your emotional foundation. And so this is talking about a pretty happy upbringing. It's talking about having, like, you know, fun in your home, pets, you know, like this kind of energy. We have creativity, romance, and children is here. So this is talking about you may have had you may have a desire now to have that energy of having a romantic partner, and possibly being ready, like mature enough to be able to understand what the commitment takes to be in a position where you would make a solid commitment, like marriage or that kind of energy. And this is talking about your health and daily routine and habits. So at this time, I'm feeling like if you've met this lover, you've just kind of met, like, it's kind of like there's been a change in your habits here. Now, this could be in preparation for meeting someone, or it could be in preparation just for life in general kind of energy. Or, you know, you've met the person and now they're in your habits have changed throughout the day because you've met this person. We have the Magician. So the Magician, when the Fool goes on their journey, the very first card that they come across is the Magician. And so that's number 1 in the Major Tarot. It doesn't necessarily mean that everybody comes across this card first. It's just the first card listed in, there's 21 in the Major Arcana. So this is talking as above, so below, bringing magic down from the heavens to earth, bringing your own special qualities, what you're really able to do, and bring that down to create a garden on earth. This is talking about having infinite potential to the power of infinity and beyond. And he has an Ouroboros around his waist, which is a snake biting its tail. And this energy talks about, like, the year of the snake that we just came out of. And this bench has tools on it. It's saying you have what you need to be successful on this cycle, on this journey. This is in the position of your career and reputation. And so working, you know, hard on the money and building a career. Maybe that's been your focus and you haven't had that much time to date and that. So you're more interested in, you know, in that. And this conception card, I feel, is also saying now you're looking for a partner that that wants to have children, like is ready to get married and have a family, that kind of energy. And we have, this is also a card about making money. So this is talking about, you know, it's going to go in the possession, or the position of your blessings and friendships, etc., your acquaintances, and what's coming in. And so this is a strong foundation for making money. And then this is talking about being safe money. Like, so it's not what, it's like this money that here that you're not going to invest in anything but yourself and your own energy. And then moving up into the heart's desires, it's talking about being able to have the extra for extra little investments, etc., and for being able to empower others, and then allowing yourself to go for your crown and glory. This is talking about having to leave. This person has their back to the city because they are leaving their comfort zone. You know, eventually, like, if you live in a smaller center, there's only so many people to purchase your products or whatever. And this is saying, hey, I need to, if I want to expand my scope of making money, then I need to expand my horizons and get out of my comfort zone and maybe move to a bigger center or to an area where there's more of I was going to say a request, but request isn't more of a need for whatever it is, the product you're selling, or more a want for it anyway. And this is talking about maybe in the past you have sold yourself short because you weren't willing to take that risk. But sometimes you have to take, you know, calculated risks to be able to move forward, to embrace opportunities. And that's like saying you're now in that position to do so. That's the kind of energy that you're, you know, ready for. And then we have, so the Nine of Cups represents someone who is really highly favored. You're well known, like you've gained a good reputation for your work, etc. These 9 cups are either behind you on the stage, so they're from the past, you've already received them. Above you, it's happening right now, or it's going to be in the future. They're a little bit forward and you're back on the stage. This is saying that this is something you wish for. Like, there's only 10 cups of energy in the tarot. And so 9 is like, that's a huge accomplishment, and it's talking about a lot of fulfillment. And this can be talking about the kind of energy of what you always wished for since you were a young child. And the thing is, though, about wishing for something is it means you don't have it. If you had it, you wouldn't be wishing for it. So this is talking about you're highly favored, but you need to keep your focus and not get distracted at this time. You want to stay in the game. Many a race is lost in the last lap. And this is talking about your spiritual nature and how you approach life. And the Aries energy right now, because on January 26th, Neptune left the sign of Pisces and moved into the sign of Aries. And Neptune is very idealistic energy, like it's about, okay, things will work out, that kind of energy. But the thing is that Neptune rules over Pisces energy. And Neptune was in its own sign, Pisces, very comfortable in the comfort zone here. And this is like, oh, things will work out, and things always have a way of working out, and being able to be a little bit dreamy and optimistic about people. And this energy has now shifted. For 14 years it was in that Pisces energy, and now it has moved into the sign of Aries. And so you think about Aries. Aries is the infant of the zodiac. It's the very first sign, and Pisces is the senior executive, the very last sign. A huge difference in energy. And you think about, okay, for the next 14 years, we're going to be in this Aries energy with Neptune, and it's going to shape the way we need to do business, the way we need to be around new people we meet, that kind of energy. How do we approach life? And this is, like you think about a newborn baby, and you think about everything like a baby learns just in the first year alone. It's incredible when you really think about it, and it just comes natural, and they get up and they do it. They hit those different stages of development approximately at the same age, give or take a couple of months here and there. And that energy, going from a helpless being that's totally dependent on everyone, being able to sit and then crawl, and then be able to start talking and using words, and also standing on your own 2 feet, and then the next thing you know, walking. And you'll notice this, like babies quite often, when they first stand and then they walk, they practice on furniture, holding on, and then when they get more confident, they let go. And it's really fun to watch them, because some of them I had my oldest daughter, she just ran, and she was always hurting herself, like running into things, because she didn't know how to walk. As soon as she got up on her feet, she was like a little pony running all over the place. You just would be like, ah! She bouncing off furniture because she was going so fast. And then my younger daughter was more like, she got up on her feet and she surveyed the situation, and she was very careful. And so it can be very different energy between 2 babies, but but they all still have to learn the steps. And that's the kind of energy that we're in, learning that. And you think about that for the next 14 years. By the time Neptune leaves Aries, that will be a 14-year-old. A rebellious teenager. So that's why for Aries in particular, this energy is extremely like it's going to have a bigger effect on your life. And then we had just a week or so ago, we had the energy of Saturn move in to join Neptune in Aries. And Saturn is all about being firm and responsible, and it's a very deep energy, and it will be in, like the energy of Saturn. Saturn takes 28 years to do a cycle, and so around the Earth. So this is like really, when Saturn comes in for 2.5 years, it's going to be sharing that space with Neptune, and we're going to feel it. And people already are feeling it. It's like it dredges up the deepest, darkest energies within us and makes us face them, basically. So this is really good energy for you, Aries. It's for really getting ahead energy. As long as you're not impulsive, you know, babies come in head first, and your glyph is the ram. And so it can be rammy energy. So, you know, don't be rammy with your energy. Don't be butting your head up against people and, you know, hey, do you want to fight and whack them with your horns kind of energy. This is about using your discernment and not being impulsive, because the more impulsive you are, the more danger there is of going too far on that horse in the wrong direction and having trouble getting back. So for those of you who feel like this is a good, I understand what this energy is about, and you want to get off here, thank you for watching. Give it a like and comment if you've received some value from it. I would really appreciate it. It helps me build my channel. Consider subscribing. You're more than welcome. It would be an honor for me if you did so. And now I'm going to clarify with the energy of my oracle, Tales from the Vector. So I started this back in 2007, and the energy with 2007 is this new moon coming up right now, or the full moon coming up on the 3rd. And this energy is a full moon in the sign of Virgo. And Virgo energy is very analytical, and we want to have things lined up, especially in our domestic situation. We want our home and our family life to really support what we're doing in our business life, and vice versa. And so Virgo energy likes things to be in order, and, you know, cleanliness is next to godliness. The thing about Virgo energy, if you want to have analytical critique, they can be very beneficial for that. Telling you like, oh, this isn't order. They'll see it. They can tell when things are out of order, and they know how to put things in place. The problem is sometimes there's a fine line between analytical critique and anal criticism. And so this is talking about, like, you don't want to be beating yourself up if things don't go according to plan, because things rarely go according to plan, but, you know, being okay with it being almost according to plan, that kind of energy. And so that Virgo full moon is going to have a lunar eclipse, and the lunar eclipse means that the sun will be highlighted. So the sun's going to be shedding more light on the situation, and that could give you the clarity, the final clarity that you need to move forward. So when we're in this in-between eclipse stage, this is a really good time to really go inward and really define for ourselves, what is it that I really want out of life? And, you know, make some plans, do some research. We are also in Mercury retrograde coming up. We are moving in it today as I do this reading. And we will be in Mercury retrograde till the 20th. And we're going to be feeling it probably till the end of the month. And so basically the whole month of March is basically going to be an energy of, you know, this eclipse energy, and the retrograde as well. So the retrograde will bring back energies from the past, and it can be infamous for confused communication and technology that's gone awry. And so this energy is talking again about making sure you have your facts and that you do your research properly, so that you understand what you're getting into in situations, especially if you're going to be signing contracts or, you know, that kind of energy. You want to make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. And the energy of the lunar eclipse here is also really interesting, because back in 2007, on March 3rd, there was very similar energy to what we had now. And this energy is, if you look back at your life in 2007, you might be like, wow, you know, I had in 2007, I had this happen, and it was a life-changing situation for myself. This oracle that I'm working with right now, the Tales from the Vector, I started this in March of 2007. And the other dates to keep an eye out for, if you go back as far as 1980, if you yourself don't go as far back as that, you can look at the energy of, what were your parents happening? Like, did they move? Did something happen? Did someone change a job? That kind of energy. What was going on in 1980? And that also was, it's not as exact as the March, as 2007, but the 2007 energy, or the 1980 energy, was a significant event in your life that shaped your life. And when I look back on this, in 1980, I had gone on a backpacking trip to Australia from Canada. And I was planning to stay for 4 months, but I stayed for a year and a half because I was able to get my visa extended. I traveled to Bali to do so, and then came back to Australia. I traveled through Thailand for a month, and then I was, in Japan, and on that route all the way home. It changed. It just fired my love for traveling, and it totally, after that, I spent probably that whole decade of the 80s just traveling, working 2 or 3 jobs sometimes at a time, and saving the money, and then going on a vacation or a holiday somewhere for a few months till I ran out of money, and then having to come back and do it again. So I did a lot of traveling, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun. Totally changed the way, my perspective of the world. And I think I've been to around 40 some countries over the years, and just love meeting the new cultures and all of that kind of energy, just seeing how do other people live. Some of them were just week-long trips, and some of them were, more longer. But the longest one was my trip in Australia, which that was totally unplanned, but it was, I loved Australia. And so and the other date that we have here is 1988. And so for me in 1988, that was my last year as a single woman. And I got married and had a baby by 1990. So that is the kind of energy that I'm talking about. Really, those were life-changing events for me. That's the kind of energy for this type of energy we're in now with these 2 eclipses. So if you have an understanding of that and you look back, it gave me a lot of clarity, and it was kind of if that's the energy we're in now, then there's some fun shift coming up. That's the energy that something really, another major shift, and it can be a little bit scary, but maybe that's what the whole earth is in. I mean, those were some of the best times of my life. I really enjoyed that energy a lot. That's also when I was first got into, energy work and that kind of, lifestyle. So yeah, I'm going to clarify now with the deck that I started, and it's from the Intergalactic Federation of Light, and I'm getting ready now to bring this out, but I am working on the information that goes with it. So the numbers on these cards represent the numbers on my website, talesfromthevector.com. So yeah, and if you had some life-changing events, I've been mentioning this in the last few readings that I've been doing here and there, and I've had a few people commenting, "Oh, this happened to me," it was life-changing exactly at those times. Do comment below. I'd love to find out what was going on for you in these eclipses. Okay, here we are. We're ready to go. This is the energy that wants to come in. We have Justice is representing the Chariot energy. And then we have 2026 being more of a year of harmony. So this is awesome. This is talking about moving into this changing energy, what you wish for. And so this is sitting right here. I think this could belong just right here. So on both of them, this is what you wish for, and getting what, in the end, you get what you wish for, and it's because you have a good attitude. So the shooting star, you know, you make a wish on the shooting star, but you can't just sit there then and say, okay, where is it? It's kind of like, no, you're going to have to put some energy into it. That's what the universe wants. And so having a good attitude can take you very far. We have the Chariot energy coming in again. This is saying, hurry up already, Knight of Pentacles. By the time you get here, this journey will be over. It's that kind of energy. But it's saying again, this justice is coming in regarding, and justice can just be like clearing a lot of karma, which is, you know, a goal that we can have for moving forward in life. If we can clear some karma, we can move forward in really strong ways. And that's kind of our purpose, is to do so. And sometimes when we're clearing karma, we're doing it not just for ourselves, but for our ancestors and our descendants, so that we can leave a better world than the world we came into. So the Hermit energy is when you don't know what to do, going to the top of the mountain and conferring with God, and then following, the lantern is full of the light of the North Star, and that is your guiding light. In my oracle, it's more of a hawk-like dragon, and he's not afraid at all to go into the darkest of nights and go deep, you know. All of the baby dragons have an angel with them, and the angel is a First Nations angel. And this is actually from Canada, from Manitoba. And there is a totem pole, but it's like from a different time and energy. It's the three monkeys: hear no ego, see no ego, speak no ego. And the Aurora Borealis represents the light in the lantern. So it's the same energy, the same idea, being able to go deep into the dark of the night and confer and have some enlightenment. We have integrity, strength coming in, and this is representing the courage to be able to go on your path, and the courage to be able to trust your intuition, that you're going to be moving forward in the right way. Capricorn energy is representing having discipline, you know, having that ability to discern, okay, what's the next step? Capricorn is very much an energy of consistent steps of action to reach the goal, a very disciplined energy. This is the most mature of all the pentacle energies, and the pentacles represent earth. So it's about bringing from heaven, what's in heaven, down to earth, and that ability to do so at a high level. When the horoscope signs come in my readings, I'm not talking about a Capricorn in particular. I'm talking about the energy, the state of being of Capricorn. And when Capricorn is at its finest, what is their biggest asset that we can learn from them? And that is the discernment and the discipline to go after our goals on earth and follow that, you know, be responsible about it and follow that energy of the North Star. We have Libra energy coming in. So this is saying that now you're at a state as a lover where you're looking for someone that you would want to make a mature commitment. Libra is talking about the justice here. So having learned that, like that it's not that there's anything wrong with this energy, it's just that you're feeling more mature now, and you're more like at this energy. That's where you're headed, and you know what you want, and so your needs and the way you do things change slightly. In, you know, how much you're willing to invest in other people, and possibly who you're willing to date, you know, that kind of energy. This is talking about indifference. So the external forces can be very indifferent to your personal needs, that's for sure. And so sometimes people will say, oh, we're all in it together, but use your intuition on that, because some people can be very indifferent to other people's needs when they're going after their own. And we have because of the ego. And that's why that painting came up of it's called The Journeyman, that painting. And it's talking about being in this energy of being fearless, about facing fears and going, you know, having the strength to face your fears so that you can be everything that you can be. Our ego will tell us, oh, you're just one person, you aren't anything special, like who do you think you are? And you're like, I'm me. That's that first eclipse energy where Leo is saying, look, I need to look after myself. if I don't look after myself, how am I going to be a good leader? I need to figure that out for myself to be able to do it. And when you're in that energy, you're on a foolhardy energy that you can anticipate. You know, you're on your path that was divinely orchestrated for you. This is lack of awareness. Never underestimate the power of willful ignorance, especially when it comes to love. We can see something in someone and we can see, ooh, this isn't good for me, but we love them and we don't want to see it, so we don't see it. And that's that kind of energy. You know, you can miss a lot of opportunities when you refuse to look at the real picture and end up in, like, it's way more of a struggle to achieve what you want to achieve in that energy. We have the Lovers coming in again, so this is representing this energy of if you're going to have someone come in your life and you're going to choose your partner, that you want it to be someone that is going to be an energetic upgrade. That's one of the most important choices you can make, is who you're going to have children with in that. And a lot of us put more energy into purchasing a car, you know, so you have to really think about, you know, the importance of those energies. And the Earth Star energy is talking about manifestation, like at a higher level. And so that comes, like, the most amazing thing we can create from our sacral energy is actual human being baby. That's the ultimate. But it's talking about being able to manifest with that sacral energy. So yeah, I feel like this is, you know, a really good reading for you, Aries. It's just saying, like, you're working on what you need to work on. Just watch that you're not too rammy with your energy and trying to shove it down other people's throats kind of energy. All right. If you've enjoyed this reading, give it a like and comment, and consider subscribing if you resonate. And what will be the next reading astrologically will be, I've already done the beginning of the month. This is the full moon eclipse, and then we will have the middle of the month. This will be the next one. Bye for now, Aries.